Stop scrolling right now. What I'm about to tell you in the next 13 minutes will permanently rewire your brain. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm being literal. Years ago, I discovered something that made me question every relationship I'd ever had. Every friendship, every romantic connection, every business partnership, every family interaction, all of it suddenly made terrifying sense. I'm talking about a 500-year-old secret that explains why your best friend suddenly got distant after you got promoted. Why your partner becomes extra affectionate right before they need a favor. Why your boss compliments your work right before asking you to stay late. This knowledge comes with a warning. Once you see these patterns, you cannot unsee them. Your mother, your spouse, your children, your closest friends, you'll understand their real motivations behind everything they do. And some of you won't be able to handle that level of truth. If you're not ready to see people, including yourself, as they really are, click away now. Because what Niccolò Machiavelli discovered about human nature is about to shatter every illusion you have about why people do what they do. Let me tell you about the day my world changed. I was 28, working at a tech startup, and there was this guy, let's call him John. John was the office golden boy. Always helping people, always volunteering for extra projects, always there with an encouraging word when you needed it. Everyone loved John, including me. I thought he was just genuinely good. The kind of person who restores your faith in humanity. You know? Then John got promoted to manager, and within 2 weeks this helpful, caring, supportive guy became different. Distant with former peers, strategic about who he helped. Suddenly his kindness had conditions. That's when I started reading Machiavelli. Not the simplified Machiavellianism is evil nonsense you hear about, but his actual observations about human behavior. And I realized something that made my stomach drop. John hadn't changed. I had just finally seen his real motivations. Every helpful act, every kind word, every moment of support, it was all strategic positioning for advancement. And the scariest part, he probably didn't even realize he was doing it. That experience led me to test something. For 6 months, I applied what I'm about to teach you to every person in my life. My girlfriend at the time, my parents, my coworkers, even strangers interacted with. And here's what I discovered: Machiavelli was right. Every single human action, every single one serves the person doing it first. Not sometimes, not usually, always. Your brain is screaming at me right now. That's not true. What about charity? What about parents sacrificing for children? What about genuine love? And I hear you. I had the same objections. But here's what Machiavelli understood, that most people don't. Self-interest isn't always selfish. The parent who sacrifices for their child is meeting their deep psychological need to be needed, to have purpose, to ensure their genetic legacy. The person who gives to charity is meeting their need to feel good about themselves, to maintain a positive self-image, to gain social status as a good person. This doesn't make these actions bad. It makes them human. And once you understand this, you unlock what I call the real motivation matrix. The real motivation matrix has 3 levels, and I want you to memorize these because they're about to become your superpower. Level 1, the story. This is what people tell you, and often themselves, they're doing. I'm just trying to help. I care about you. I think this is the right thing to do. Level 2, the strategy. This is what they're actually trying to accomplish in the situation. Get promoted, maintain control, avoid conflict, gain approval, build an image. Level 3, the survival. This is the deep human need being met. Security, status, purpose, control, connection, recognition. And here's the magic question that changes everything. What does this person actually gain by doing this? Not what they say they gain, what they actually gain emotionally, socially, financially, or psychologically. Let me blow your mind with some examples that you'll recognize immediately. Example 1. The overly helpful friend. You know that friend who always, and I mean always, offers to help you move, gives unsolicited advice, remembers your birthday before Facebook does, checks on you when you're sick. The story: I just care about my friends. I like helping people. The strategy: become indispensable to maintain the friendship and ensure you'll never abandon them. The survival: deep fear of abandonment and need to feel valuable to others. This friend isn't manipulating you consciously. They genuinely believe they're just being nice. But watch what happens when you don't need their help for a while. Watch how they create reasons to be helpful. Watch how they get uncomfortable when you solve problems without them. Comment below if you have this friend, or if you're this friend. Example 2. The modest high achiever. This is the person who gets promoted and says, "I was just in the right place at the right time," and wins an award and credits the amazing team. Gets into their dream school and says, "I got lucky." The story: I don't want to seem arrogant. Success isn't just about me. The strategy: maintain likability while achieving high status. Have your cake and eat it too. The survival need for both achievement and social acceptance, without the threat of tall poppy syndrome. Pay attention to how this person talks about other people's successes versus their own failures. Notice how their modesty is strategically deployed only when they're winning. Example 3. The brutally honest person. I'm just being honest. Someone had to say it. I tell it like it is. You know this person. They pride themselves on their brutal honesty and lack of filter. The story: I value truth above all else. People need to hear this. The strategy: use honesty as a weapon to establish dominance and avoid the social effort of being diplomatic. The survival need to feel superior and avoid the vulnerability that comes with tactful communication. Notice how this person's honesty is rarely about their own flaws. Notice how they're brutal with others but defensive when receiving the same energy back. Now comes the part that's going to mess with your head. Because if everyone else is operating from self-interest, so are you. That nice thing you did yesterday. Ask yourself, what did you gain? Maybe you gained the feeling of being a good person. Maybe you gained social credit. Maybe you gained the avoidance of guilt. This isn't about becoming cynical. This is about becoming honest. When you understand your own real motivations, you make better decisions. When you understand other people's real motivations, you build better relationships. Here's how this changes everything. Instead of being hurt when people act in their self-interest, you expect it. Instead of being confused by mixed signals, you understand the competing motivations behind them. Your boss who's friendly one day and cold the next, you'll recognize they're managing their own need for authority versus their need to be liked. Your partner who's affectionate when they need support and distant when they don't. You see the natural human pattern of seeking connection when beneficial. This doesn't make love fake. It makes it strategic. And strategic love, love that serves both people's needs, is actually stronger than blind love. Once you master this framework, here's what becomes possible. You see through every pitch, negotiation, and office political move. You understand what your clients actually want versus what they say they want. You stop taking things personally because you see the self-interest behind other people's actions. You also become impossible to manipulate because you'll recognize the strategies immediately. You understand why certain family members create drama, why others play peacemaker, and why some stay distant. Every family role serves a psychological function, but here's the real power. You'll be able to meet people where they actually are instead of where you think they are. Now, I need to give you a real warning. This knowledge is powerful. You could use it to manipulate people by appealing to their hidden motivations. You could use it to become cynical and withdraw from human connection altogether. Don't do either of those things. Use this understanding to build better relationships by meeting people's real needs, not their stated ones. Use it to protect yourself from manipulation while becoming more genuinely helpful to others. Machiavelli's greatest insight wasn't that people are selfish. It's that people are predictably self-interested, and predictability creates the possibility for genuine connection and mutual benefit. From this moment forward, you're going to notice something incredible happening. In every conversation, every text, message, every interaction, you'll find yourself automatically asking, what does this person actually gain from this? Your family gatherings will make perfect sense. Your workplace dynamics will become crystal clear. Dating will become like having cheat codes because you'll understand what people are really seeking. The anxiety you feel in social situations will decrease because you'll understand the games being played instead of feeling confused by mixed signals. If this framework just shifted something fundamental in how you see people, and I can tell from your face that it has, then you're ready for the advanced material. First, subscribe and ring that bell because next week I'm revealing Machiavelli's 3 laws of power that only 1% of people understand. These are the rules that govern every interaction you'll ever have. Second, try this framework on 3 people in your life this week. Pick someone whose behavior has always confused you and apply the real motivation matrix. Then come back and tell me in the comments what you discovered. Welcome to seeing the world as it actually is. You're now part of the small percentage of people who understand human nature at its deepest level. Use this knowledge wisely, and remember, everyone is just trying to meet their needs, including you. The only difference is now you know what those needs actually are.